Your Seat Radio. It is the 23rd of June, 2025. You're on my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. I'm actually on my way to Home Depot. My wife needs storage containers. So it's about the same length of time, so we'll still have the same amount of time for the show. Hey, so it's Monday. Yes, Monday in the office, my favorite. What have I done over the weekend? Let's talk about the weekend. So my wife finally had an opportunity to really look at that digital light box, with the movie posters and stuff. Let's see if I can fix this before it gets nasty. There we go. Hey now, Alex J. Lopez is here. So she caught a look at, she got a look at it when it was dark and it was beautiful, and she's like, oh my God, that is so beautiful. It's like, it took her like 3 days to figure that out. I don't know. And she goes, I think we need one for the living room, the big one. And I'm like, wow, that was easy. I didn't even have to ask. So I have a 32-inch digital photo frame sitting there at home right now, waiting for me to come and load it with posters. So I'm very excited. We have up on the living room wall, we have a giant landscape equilibrium poster. I believe it is the UK poster. The UK likes to have those landscape oriented posters. We have the Princess Bride and a couple of other ones that are in that format. And she's like, we can take the posters down. I mean, be able to just rotate through them. So she was all excited about it. I'm like, great, that's awesome. I had a little channel funny money come in about that time, so I didn't end up paying, the $400 for it. I paid a little bit less, which is great. So yeah, so that's sitting at home, and I'm excited to get back to working on posters. Most of my weekend was taken up by the Planet Crafter. I did actually do a video. So for those of you, after hearing me talk about it here on the show, you want to take a peek at it. I did do sort of an introductory guide, and then I showed you, I don't know, maybe about halfway through terraforming your planet. Picked up a copy for a couple of friends so they could have fun with it too. So yeah, I spent most of my weekend monkeying with that. I did do some video work, but other than that, it was pretty much that. I finished my battle pass in Overwatch. I played some Rivals. I did something else over the weekend too that was halfway interesting. Maybe not. God, the weekends are so damn short. It makes me crazy. So anyway, yeah. So let's see. I did have something else I was going to talk about here. Hang on, traffic's getting busy here. Give me a moment. Get myself on auto cruise. Yeah, so I was reading up on, I was catching up on news today at lunchtime. And have you guys heard about this Borderlands 4, right? I mean, Borderlands 4, listen, I enjoyed Borderlands. I enjoyed the second one, but not as much. And by the time I was done with Borderlands 2, I realized I don't like loot shooters. That was pretty much the end of my loot shooting thing. I picked up like Destiny 2 and tried that out, and that reestablished the fact that I don't like loot shooters. I tried to give like Diablo 3 a go, and I realized I don't like loot shooters. So I've kind of got it figured out. I don't like loot shooters. So Borderlands 4 is only of interest to me as it is interesting in the news right now. And essentially, Randy, what's it, Pitchford? He's the guy that runs Gearbox. And, they're the ones that make Borderlands 4. Anyway, so he came out and tried to do some press for it and basically said, well, I don't know how much it's going to cost. Everyone's like, is it going to be $80? Is it going to be $90? Is it going to be $100? It'll be value, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it's going to cost, right? And he's like, but I'm sure it'll be worth it. I'm sure it'll be worth it. And then somebody said, like, ask him the basic question, which of course was on everybody's mind, which is, how do you justify $80 for a game? Like, there are people out there that can't make food and rent right now, and how are you justifying $80 for a game? Something that's not food, water, or shelter, right? I mean, and he said something really dumb. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, of course, because I'm driving, but basically he said, if you're a super fan, you'll find a way to pay. And boy, did that just piss everybody off. And you know what? I get it. I have championed the concept that $80 is not a ridiculous price for a game, depending on how much time and enjoyment that you get out of it, right? You've probably seen that video of mine. But at the same time, it is a video game. It is not food, water, or shelter. So I've sort of got a mixed opinion about how all of this nonsense is going down. Gamers are acting entitled for cheap entertainment, right? They're entitled to the next Borderlands game. And they're entitled to get it at the price that they set. And it's like, somebody said it really well. I can't remember who it was. It was a random poll on YouTube. The guy's like, you don't have to buy the game the day it comes out, And it's like, yeah, who the fuck does that? I mean, okay, listen, I've done it. But there's one thing, at least on PC, there's one thing about PC gaming that is like death and taxes. It will get cheaper. And depending on the type of game, who it came from, it'll get cheaper really freaking fast, right? So, my goal is to never pay MSRP for a game, ever. Even if it's something I really want and it's day one. And honestly, if you're willing to look around a little bit, Green Man Gaming, every new release is 17% off. At least in the weeks coming up to it, right? So it's like, who the hell pays full price for a game anyway? You know who pays full price? Console people, Nintendo people, they're paying full price. But shit, man, I think I paid $15 for The Forest when it came out. They raised it to $25 when it went to 1.0, and now it's down to $5 at every good sale. Witcher 3, it's Witcher 3, for God's sakes, that game is $7.99. And it's like one of the greatest games of all time. And it's $7.99. There's no reason to pay full price. And somebody I saw it pop up and I missed the whole thing. How powerful FOMO is. And fear of missing out, right? I don't know if I have to explain that, but some of my listeners are a little older. But yeah, fear of missing out. I don't get it. And, if you think about PC gaming in general, the longer you wait, the better it is. And what do I mean by that? Now, there's some exceptions. But let's just say, let me try to pick a game out of the past. It's not connecting. The synapses are not firing. Look at Crysis. Crysis used to be the game by which all video cards were judged, all PCs were judged. Now now it's like, can your home pregnancy kit run Crysis? The longer you wait, the cheaper it is, the more powerful your hardware will be, and probably a better experience. So, like, so there's a lot of dual owners out there, right? People who own a PC and a console. A lot of people do the PS5 PC combo platter, right? And I kind of get that, but I kind of don't. But I get owning Nintendo and a PC or Nintendo and a PS5. I understand that duality, but I don't understand the concept of having a high-end gaming PC and a PS5. Namely because most of this shit ends up landing on the PC anyway. And guess what happens when it does land on the PC? DLC is already included. It's been overhauled for PC graphics, right? It's instead of running at 30 FPS, it's going to run at 60 or more. So sometimes the longer you wait, the better it is. And it's certainly time cures almost all problems with games. It comes out day one, it's buggy as fuck. It's got the day one patch sucks ass. It still needs at least 3 more patches, right? What's the going standard for Microsoft Windows? You know, you don't upgrade to Windows until SP1 comes out. It's a shame that games don't follow that sort of pattern, right? SP1 sort of means it's gold. That's how it's traditionally been. Most games that come out now, they don't come out anywhere near ready, right? They're all this big push, whatever. And so it's 3-4 patches later. And guess what? If you wait for 3 or 4 patches, the price comes down. And maybe that nasty fucking Denuvo will get taken off, right? I mean, there's so many advantages to waiting. But people can't do it. It's like, Jesus Christ, come on, man. So anyway, this Borderlands 4 thing, just when you think everybody was super pissed off about Borderlands 4, something new showed up. And I just heard about this earlier today, and I just had to hop on and talk about it. So we all know what Denuvo is, and if you don't, you should probably learn about it and figure it out. I am currently blacklisting Denuvo games. I really want that new Sonic Cross Worlds. Not going to buy it, not for the PC anyway. Not as long as there's Denuvo on it. And there's lots of these new games with Denuvo on it. But in Borderlands 4, guess what? Denuvo. But wait. There's more. Not only will it have nasty-ass Denuvo, which is anti-consumer, it's also going to have a new-ish copy protection called Symbiote. I think that's how it is. Symbiotie, however you pronounce that. And so there's not a lot of details out about this thing yet, but essentially, you ready for this? It's a rootkit. That's right. It is going to install at the kernel level. So you know what I think about that? There will be no fucking shit like that on top of whatever other nonsense there is. You know, you would think that people would be getting pissed about this. That people would, you know, it's like, I don't know. But again, fear of missing out must be awfully strong. People just can't go without those games until that shit gets pulled off. And I think that Symbiote or whatever it is in-house. So they're not even paying anybody else for it. So that means it'll never go away, right? At least with Denuvo, they're being charged, you know, tens of thousands of dollars a month. That's why eventually people take it off. But when you've got something like this that's in-house, Jesus, they'll never take it off. So if you needed another reason to boycott Borderlands 4, there you go. So I thought that was a little interesting piece of info. There was something else that I saw today. What was it? Get off the highway here. Something else that I found remarkably interesting. In the meantime, let me complain about being old. Because yesterday, and it, by the way, it's 104 here in Phoenix. It is summertime after all. And so here's what ends up happening every year that pisses me off. So, you know, in the springtime, we get some showers, right? We desperately need the water. We desperately need the moisture. But if you're a homeowner in Arizona, in Phoenix, you know that when it rains, like really good, the weeds come out. And even though I've got the fiber down, you know, the cloth, what do they call that? Landscaping cloth down, and I've got full rock, those goddamn weeds will not go away. And so when it storms here, well, within 2 days, I got freaking Vietnam in my front yard. And in Glendale, which is where I live, just outside of Phoenix, Glendale, I'm not in a homeowners association. Thank God. I will never purchase a home that's in a homeowners association. I cannot stomach the concept of paying somebody every month to tell you what to do. It just doesn't ring for me. But the city of Glendale is actually sort of a little HOA itself, but you don't have to pay for it. And yes, if the weeds in your front yard get a little crazy, they'll drop a little notice on your door, just like an HOA would, and say, hey, your weeds are out of control. We're going to come by in 3 or 4 days, and we'll need you to have that taken care of. That would be great. So, yeah, and I did not get a notice, but I could tell that we were getting into notice territory. So yesterday, I elected to get down on my knees and pray. No, get down on my knees and pick weeds. And I'll tell you what, every year that shit gets just a little bit harder. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad. I expected to wake up like completely crippled this morning, but I was just a little sore and a little tired. So take that for what it's worth. But I'll tell you, you think for some reason as you get older, you're like, it's not going to happen to me. I'm strong. I'm good. I'm not going to suffer from those aches and pains and the joints and this and that. And I got the Viking hand, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Oh, man. What's been going on with Steam Deck? Steam Deck's been kind of quiet. Not a lot going on. A big update came through and trashed everybody's Wi-Fi. Every time they have a major build, you could say like this new version is supposed to run on multiple types of hardware, so maybe that's why it happened. But when we went from 3.4 to 3.5, we had some sort of problem, and I don't remember what it was exactly. I'm sure I could go to Reddit and find out. But from 3.5 to 3.6, tons of people lost their SD card. Just stop reading it. And so I could pull it out and put it in another device, plugged it into my PC, use a little Linux file system for Windows. It's great, no problem. So I got all my data off, plugged the card back in, reformatted it, worked fine, put all my data back on, it was just fine. And I was not alone. In fact, I posted a big, long post about it on Reddit, and actually one of Valve's engineers reached out and said, hey, we'd like to have your system logs. And I'm like, well, shit, that was like 3 weeks ago. I was like, no, it's still in there. Just get us this log and this log and this log. So I don't think it ever got fixed. What people were doing was pulling the card out, dumping the data, or reformatting it and just taking the loss. Well, 3.6 to 3.7, people are losing Wi-Fi, and it's like, so why does one big thing have to break every single big release? Something big has to break. So I had the same problem. It hit me too. It turned out that the way to fix it was to either roll back to 3.6 and roll forward again. For some people that was working. Go away. Stop pinging me. But the inevitable fix was download the new recovery image, 3.7.8. Download the new recovery image. Wipe your deck clean. Start with 3.7.8 fresh. No Wi-Fi problems. Go figure. So I'd be curious, if the SD card problem was the same way. Like if you were to get the 3.6, you know what though? That's not true, because the last recovery image prior to 3.7.8 was 3.5.7. They never released a 3.6 candidate. Strange, right? I don't know. I found something on YouTube today at lunchtime. I was watching videos, and you'll have to dig way back for this one. But when HBO wasn't a streaming service, when HBO was a brand new cable channel, one of the very first, maybe the first, I think there was one more before HBO, the quote paid cable channels. I'm talking about Showtime, Cinemax. There were a few local ones, but those were like, nationwide. HBO, Showtime, Cinemax. And when HBO came out, there was like this big push to to show like this big premium look and feel. Like, you know, we're asking you to pay $30 a month for one channel. Let's do it upright. And so I remember I didn't have HBO. We were poor. But my friend, his parents had HBO. So I used to spend the weekends over at his place all the time. We try to catch catch Beastmaster every other hour. They would have it on, and then, you know, you stay up long enough and watch it late at night. You get a little boob slip here and there. But, you know, right after they came on board, once HBO came up, they had this HBO feature presentation intro. And it was like nothing I'd ever seen. It was so fucking cool. I mean, this is like a bumper at the beginning. At the top of the hour, it would come up and it would say, you know, this is rated R, blah, blah, blah. And then it would do this HBO Presents video. And you can see it in pretty decent quality up on YouTube. I mean, I'm waiting for someone to do like to get the master film and like redo it in 4K. I would love that, but probably never going to happen. But there is like a high quality version that you can see. And there was also a chopped off version of it. But there's the long version of it. Starts off in somebody's apartment, and the guy is turning the TV onto HBO, and he goes to sit down, and the camera flies out. Now, this is like 1983 or something, folks. I mean, there's no CGI going on here. The camera flies out of the house and then turns and looks up this busy city street, and it flies up the street, and it's playing this ever-building music, you know? And it's like, this is something special. This is big, you know? And it's flying through the city. It looks unbelievable. Again, no CGI back then. This was all practical shit. And then it gets up to this ridge of mountains, and then it goes and looks up into the sky, and there's like this big star field. There's a splash of stars, and this big silver HBO logo comes out. And if you were to look at it now, it looks CGI, but it's not. And so and then it comes up and it spins, and you go inside the O and it flashes these colors. It's really fucking cool. Well, it was a big deal, right? Like that was a big deal. Well, I forgot that they had released at one point a making of video. It's where they actually had, it's weird, right? There's a making of video for a bumper on HBO. Listen, we didn't have a lot of channels back then. But yeah, and so I found that it popped into my algorithm today, and it's like, holy shit, I totally forgot about this. And they go through the whole thing about how it was conceived and, you know, what it took to make it. It took them like 6 months to build the city. It was unbelievable. It's really interesting. You know, nowadays it would be just a big CGI fuckfest that some kid put together in his room. But, you know, it's still cool. It's still amazing. It's like watching those videos on like how they made Terminator, right? You know, you go back and you watch these clips of Cameron's special effects team doing like the nuclear blast, and it's like these buildings look like they're made out of cardboard and shit, but they look completely real because they do all these photographic tricks and camera tricks and film speed ups and shit. You're going, holy shit, that looks great. And then, you know, I don't know. But that's how I kind of feel when I watch something like this, you know? It's like, wow. You know, these bitches work for a living, right? They weren't just sitting in some chair modeling with fucking Blender, dude. These guys were out there making shit, innovating, doing cool shit. And the star field that explodes, like, right before the logo comes out, so simple. It's so fucking simple. It blew my mind. It's like two pieces of paper with holes in them, and they have a light shining through it, and they just offset the top page, and when you move it a certain direction, it looks fucking great. And you're going, holy shit, that was a great effect. You're wondering how they did it, and it was fucking construction paper with holes in it. It's unbelievable. You know? It's unbelievable. So I thought that was kind of interesting. If you hadn't seen that, if you even know what I'm talking about, go see if you can find the making of HBO Presents, and check that out. I think you'll find it interesting if you're a movie buff like me. So, anywho, I am at Home Depot. This guy's taking up the entire fucking drive. Come on, get out of the way. Get out of here. So I'm going to go in and get my wife's containers and haul my ass home and play with my new digital frame. So Thanks everybody for joining in. I appreciate coming in live. I finally got the stupid thing fixed so it's not listed as unlisted anymore. I'm going to park over by the exit. Yeah, it's 4th of July coming up, so, you know, Home Depot's got everything going on. Go ahead, you're good, you're good. I'm waiting for this truck to pull out anyway. Yeah, I always forget about the 4th of July. You know what's funny, as a kid, sorry, I'm going to get another topic here. As a kid, the 4th of July was like, you know, Christmas for me. But, you know, that was back, that's back when you could actually get fireworks that were not safe and non-sane. But it's still fun. Just I tend to forget about it now being older. It's weird. It's like kind of a kid's holiday, huh? All right. Well, that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Shane R. Monroe, Pastor C Radio. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.